Good afternoon, students. So today let us move on to the fifth unit. So fourth unit and the composites completed. Now going on to the fifth unit, which is related to dispersion strengthened composites, then laminar composites, hybrid composites. So first let us look on with the dispersion strengthened composites. So dispersion strengthening mechanism kandipa ellarume padichirupinga. So related to that is that DSC, that is your dispersion strengthened composites. So let us look on to it. So dispersion strengthening refers to the process of increasing the toughness of a metallic object. So the main thing is we are going to increase the toughness by introducing a second phase through the addition of an alloying element. So this is done to increase the strength of the metallic objects subject to corrosion. So enna panna poromnaka, we are going to increase the toughness. Eppadi panna porom? By adding or by introducing a second phase, and that is being done by adding the alloying element. So dispersion strengthening occurs when a significant concentration of a second alloying metal is added to another core metal. So ஏற்கனவே நமக்கு core metal இருக்கு, அது கூட we are going to add this additional alloying metal with which the toughness is going to be increased, which results in exceeding the base material's solubility limit. So on the core metal தான் base material சொல்றோம். Ultimately a second phase is formed due to the generation of two-phase alloy. The boundary meeting point of the two-phase occurs with an imperfect atomic alignment and slip dislocations. So the boundary meeting in the two phases, the first one and the second alloying element, where they are going to meet, there is going to be on the boundary, in the boundary, rendu peroda boundary on the mingle ஆக போறாங்க, meet ஆக போறாங்க ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல, and that will be done with an imperfect atomic alignment and slip dislocation. So in the word, this is the most important one, the slip dislocation is going to occur. So எப்படி அந்த dislocation act ஆக போகுது அப்படிங்கறத பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் that strengthening mechanism is going to occur. So that we'll look on in the next slide. So before that, the process which produces dislocation pinning sites, it's actually PINNING. The process which produces dislocation pinning sites due to the presence of second phase particles in the matrix of the first phase. So dislocation pinning in the previous slide la paathalayum, when two metals are going to join, where they are going to meet, orthanga innorthangaloda they are going to enna solradhu attach or join, that is called as that pinning point. So எப்படி அந்த pinning நடக்குது, second phase particles நமக்கு இந்த first phase matrixல meet ஆகுறதால. So the hard particles, அதாவது நம்ம அந்த second phase particles add பண்ற size range will vary from 0.1 nanometer and it will vary even up to micrometer level. So ductile matrix with hard particles. So நம்ம எடுத்துக்கிற அந்த core metal is your matrix, which is going to be ductile in nature, and along with that or to that we are going to add the hard particles, அதாவது நம்மளோட second phase alloying particles. And this DSC அதாவது நம்மளோட dispersion strengthened composites is being done mainly by the powder metallurgy route. So when you are going to carry out this powder metallurgy process, this ductile matrix and hard particles will join together and they will be formed as a composite materials. So இதுக்கு இந்த DSC க்கு best example பார்த்தோம்னா இந்த ரெண்டு தான். So 14% alumina in aluminum SAP composite. SAP na sintered aluminum powder. So S stands for sintered. Sintering இந்த powder metallurgy ல powder metallurgy ஓட overall இது நான் ஏற்கனவே உங்களுக்கு சொல்லியிருக்கேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So once again வேணா அந்த important points மட்டும் I will just tell you, can note it down. So first will be the formation of powders. So நம்ம எடுத்துக்கிற அந்த raw material பவுடரா நமக்கு வேணும். So அந்த powder வந்து it can be done by either spraying method, atomization or milling or by carrying out any crushing. இந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது ஒரு process பண்ணிட்டு you will be making the powders. அந்த powders பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் you will be doing the blending or the mixing. Because எல்லாமே powder தான் இருக்கணும் இல்லையா? So என்னென்ன நீங்க எடுத்திருக்கீங்களோ அது எல்லாத்தையுமே in case it is going to be a mixture of 2 or 3 can be even in that way. So you are going to blend it and the powders மட்டும் இல்லாம தேவையான எல்லா additives-உமே. After that you will be doing the formation process. Like you are going to give that pressing. நமக்கு அந்த தேவையான shape வேணும் இல்லையா? So it can be done. It is the compaction process. It's being done either by hot isostatic pressing or cold isostatic pressing, HIP or CIP. அதுக்கப்புறம் you need to do that அந்த heat பண்ணுவோம். So first initially that normal heating, அந்த moisture எதா இருந்தா remove பண்றதுக்கு, and after that only you will be doing that sintering process. So அந்த sintering தான் வந்து it is for அந்த densification. So high heat கொடுத்துட்டு you are going to carry out that densification, or in turn where our toughness is going to be increased. So this is with the powder metallurgy route. Forming the powders, அதுக்கப்புறம் blending or mixing, then compaction, அதுக்கப்புறம் removing the moisture either by the sunல சும்மா வெளியே வச்சு removing the moisture, or you can do normal ovensல kilnsல வச்சு heat பண்றது. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் furnaceல you will be carrying out the sintering. So after doing this process you will be getting the hardened composite material. So examples is that sintered aluminum powder, and the other example important one is 1 to 2% thoria in nickel, 20% chromium, TD nickel. So TD appear, it is thoria dispersed nickel. So 1 to 2% thoria in nickel, 20% chromium, which is thoria dispersed nickel. And the last example is tungsten carbide in cobalt cemented carbide cutting tools. So this is a simple diagram. சும்மா அதுல என்னென்ன steps carry out பண்ணுவாங்க ஒரு powder metallurgy route example. So coming into the main mechanism. So this was what I was telling us. Oravan, இங்க ஒரு n வராதுப்பா. It is OROWAN அவ்வளவுதான். Oravan model or the Oravan mechanism for the dispersion strengthening. So என்ன actually இங்க நடக்குது அப்படிங்கறதா it's been given in this diagram. What is the stages in this Oravan mechanism? So first you can look on to this diagram. I'll explain you, then we can move on with that theory part. So this single vertical line மாதிரி இருக்கு இல்லையா, இதுதான் நம்மளோட dislocation line. So this dislocation line is going towards the two particles. So in the black dots மாதிரி ரெண்டு இருக்கு இல்லையா, so they are the two particles, and usually they are the non-coherent particles or the non-coherent precipitates. And let it be that these two particles are spaced by a distance of lambda. So in the lambda ங்கிறது என்னன்னாக்கா, it is the interparticle distance. அதாவது இந்த பார்ட்டிகளுக்கும் இந்த பார்ட்டிகளுக்கும் நடுவுல இருக்கிற distance is the interparticle distance given by lambda. Now the dislocation line is approaching them. Now when they are going to get closer to these particles, what is happening to that line is they are trying to bend. அதாவது we'll say as they are trying to bow, B-O-W, bow. ஏன் அந்த bow அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம்னா, bow and arrow என்ன, அந்த வில்லு அம்பு. ஸோ நமக்கு வில்லு எப்படி வளைஞ்சிருக்கோ அது மாதிரி இங்க வளையுது. ஸோ we are calling it as they try to bow. And இந்த இதுக்கு they need some shear stress to bow this dislocation line. So இந்த bow மாதிரி இந்த dislocation line bend ஆகிறதுக்கு தேவையான shear stress தான் it is given by the formula tau equal to GB by lambda. So it needs some amount of shear stress to bend or bow this dislocation line around these two particles, and it is given by the value tau equal to GB by lambda, where you know tau is the shear stress and lambda is this interparticle distance, and G is the modulus of rigidity and B is the Burgers vector magnitude. So in the Burgers vector, all these things you would have learnt in your EPM already. EPM la படிச்சிருக்கீங்க, PM la படிச்சிருக்கீங்க, I mean advanced physical metallurgy la படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. Okay, now the straight dislocation line now bow ஆயிடுச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் it's going to form a loop. So அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன ஆகுதுனாக்கா ஒரு dislocation loop நமக்கு form பண்ணிடுது. So இந்த dislocation loop form ஆனதுக்கப்புறம் it is going to go, அவ்வளவுதான். இந்த loop create பண்ணிட்டு it would have reached the critical curvature. அதுக்கப்புறம் it is forming a loop around the each particle, and again they will annihilate and they will pass away. In the dislocation climbing, dislocation annihilation இதெல்லாம் படிச்சிருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? So they will annihilate with each other and they are going to leave out. Now இப்போ இதனால hardening நடக்கிறது அப்படிங்கிறது என்ன கான்செப்ட் அப்படின்னாக்கா, now there's a loop which has been formed by this dislocation line. Now இப்போ additional dislocations நமக்கு form ஆகுதுனாக்கா, once again நமக்கு dislocation line இது மாதிரி approach ஆகும், then they will go and try to form a bow. But இப்போ first நமக்கு இருக்கிறப்ப பார்ட்டிகல் மட்டும்தான் இருக்காங்க, ஆனா இப்போ நமக்கு ஆல்ரெடி லூப் கிரியேட் ஆயிருச்சு. ஸோ அடிஷ்னலா டிஸ்லொகேஷன்ஸ் வர்றப்ப என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னாக்கா, பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ் லூப்ஸ் அண்ட் தென் அடிஷ்னல் திங்ஸ் தட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி ஜென்ரேட்டட் அகெயின் அண்ட் அகெயின், நமக்கு அப்பதான் ஹார்டனிங்ங்கிற ப்ராசஸ் நடக்கும். இந்த ஸ்ட்ரெயின் ஹார்டனிங் சொல்லியிருக்கேன் இல்லையா? ஸோ தேர் வில் பி no place for the movement of the dislocations, and the dislocation la vandu they will get tangled with each other and then the hardening will take place in some area. So that is the case. So coming into the theory part, so the dislocation bypassed by the overall bowing mechanism, the shear stress required to bow two particles which is separated by lambda is given by tau equal to GB by lambda. So straight dislocation line is approaching the two particles. So initially they try to bend and they'll reach a critical curvature, and then they are going to form a dislocation loop around each particle. அதுக்கப்புறம் அடிஷ்னலா வர்றவங்க same thing, they will approach it, then finally நிறைய ஃபார்ம் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கிறப்ப தான் ஹார்டனிங் நடக்கும். So what are all the factors that will influence this second phase particle strengthening? So it is the first one, the interparticle spacing, that is the lambda, distance between two particles, the average particle diameter, அதாவது அந்த two particles இங்க நாம எடுத்துட்டோம் எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு, ஸோ அது மாதிரி அந்த பார்ட்டிகல்ஸோட diameter, then the volume fraction, எவ்வளோ இருக்காங்க அந்த particles ஓவராலா, VF, then the distribution of the particles, strength, the ductility. So coming into the interspacing distance, if the contribution of each phase are independent, the properties of the multiple phase alloy. So each phase let it be independent. So upon the overall phase irukkrappo, what is the thing, overall idukku eppadi kandupidippom edha irundhalum அந்த summation, so the same concept. So the properties of the overall multi-phase alloy is the summation of the weighted average of the individual phases. So let there be n phases. So the stress for the overall product is being given by sigma average equal to V1 sigma 1 V2 sigma. So all these is the volume fraction plus the final overall one, and similarly the strain, the average strain on the particle is being given by v1 epsilon 1, v2 epsilon 2 up to vn epsilon n. So this is also actually an important question. What are the factors that influence the strengthening mechanism, and explain them in detail. So dispersion hardening with related to small particles and big particles. So just first look on to this diagram alone. So in the particles நம்ம எடுத்துட்டோம் இல்லையா, so consider that example of those two particles. So அந்த ரெண்டு particlesம் நம்ம சின்னதா இருக்கு அப்படின்னாக்கா what will happen, automatically நமக்கு அந்த distance between those two will be more. ஏன்னா particles are very small in size, so the interparticle distance lambda நமக்கு அதிகமா இருக்கும். So அந்த small particles இருக்கிறப்போ நமக்கு lambda is more. So then what will happen to that strengthening? So strengthening effect is given by the formula del sigma equal to 6g into r by b power of 0.5 f of 0.5 epsilon 1.5, where g is the shear modulus or the modulus of rigidity, r is the particle radius, b is the Burgers vector magnitude, f is the volume fraction of particles, and epsilon is the strain field factor. So now this strengthening is given by 6g into r by b, so particle radius. So in the particle radius நமக்கு அதிகமாக என்ன ஆயிட்டு, the strengthening is going to decrease. But ஆனா இது small particles க்கு தான். So small particles இருக்கிறப்போ எவ்வளவுதான் நமக்கு particle radius increase ஆனாலும் it's not going to go beyond that limit such that they are going to reach the size of the big particles. Whereas for big particles பார்த்தோம்னாக்கா நமக்கு ஏற்கனவே அவன் பார்ட்டிகளோட சைஸ் பெருசா இருக்கும், இதுல அவனோட ரேடியஸ் அதிகமாயிட்டே இன்னும் இருக்க what is going to happen to the strengthening? It is going to increase. This is nothing but the concept which is related to that and the strain hardening சொன்னேன் இல்லையா. So when the particles are going to become bigger and bigger, பெருசாக நமக்கு மூவ்மெண்ட்டுக்கு இடம் இல்லாம போகுது. ஸோ அப்போ என்ன ஆகும், ஸ்ட்ரென்தனிங் அதிகமாகுது. ஆனால் இப்போ பார்ட்டிகல் ரேடியஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப சின்னதாகவே தான் இருக்குது. அப்போ எவ்வளோதான் நமக்கு ஆட் ஆன் ஆகிட்டு இருந்தாலும் நமக்கு இதில் கம்பேர் பண்ணுற அளவுக்கு இங்கே ஸ்ட்ரென்தனிங் இருக்காது. ஸோ இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு டிக்ரீஸ். ஸோ லாம்டா இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு 4 into 1 minus f into r by 3f. So where f we have already seen is the volume fraction of the particles and r is the particle radius. So this Oravan mechanism followed by these factors which influence it, and also the effect of the particle size, all these are very important, and all these together you have to write for dispersion strengthened composites. And you should also write about ரொம்ப detail answer 12 marks 16 marks கலவெல்லாம் கேட்குறாங்க அப்படின்னாக்கா you should also write about the powder metallurgy route, and also அந்த powder metallurgy ஓட அந்த important steps ஐயும் நீங்க எழுதி you have to do it. So this is with the dispersion strengthened composites. Now அதனோட theory part, all these things we'll look on in the next class. For today this is it.